Good evening and thank you for joining us today. Welcome to the Wipro Intelligence Fireside Chat. Hi, I'm Pratibha, the Head of Strategy at Wipro Engineering. I welcome our distinguished panelists today. Today's discussion is going to be how we are enabling partnerships and gaining mutual benefits with Drivesec and Wipro in addressing the challenges in cybersecurity for the automotive systems. In today's world, as we know, of highly advanced needs of connected vehicles and systems, the challenges of cybersecurity validation in the context of connected ECUs in a vehicle, which are interfacing with the external world, is increasing and needs to be addressed. As much as we enjoy the benefits that a connected, always connected experience brings to us as users, as a driver for me personally, how can we feel safe in such a system when we also know there is the challenge of security looming on us, cybersecurity attacks looming with us? And that's the context I thought we should discuss today as how we are working together. And I'm very, very happy to welcome this distinguished set of panelists here on the team here today. Dr. Giuseppe Faranda is the CEO of Drivesec. Dr. Swarup Mandal, who's the head of Automotive practice at Wipro Engineering, and Thomas Mueller, who is the CTO at Wipro Engineering. Welcome. Without much delay, let's move on to discussing certain questions that are on top of our minds. A common question for all of you, just to set the context. How do you all envision the problems and the issues that highly connected systems today are facing in terms of cybersecurity, and what needs to be done to address this?
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
So the problem today is becoming bigger and bigger, considering that all the vehicles are connected, and this is similar to what happened at the start of the internet in the 90s, when you put together connectivity via mobile phones and a system that is network controlled. You create the perfect storm where people can connect, control features from remote, and put at danger the life of the people in the vehicle. So for this reason, you must be sure that what you are delivering to your customer is fully covered under the point of view of cybersecurity risk. And when you're considering an environment that is produced by a million of code lines, this has become also bigger and bigger issues. So that's the type of problem that we have today. How we can make sure that the system that we deliver are fully tested under the point of view of the resilience to cybersecurity attack.
Sure. Thomas,
So for automotive world, as we know that SDV, autonomy, and whatever is happening in the connected space, which is actually enabling different functions, and that has got the deterrence is the security breaches. If security breaches has been taken care, the accelerations on the adoption of various connected service would have been much better. And if you look at the cybersecurity problem today, one is that how you can make the product, specifically in this case vehicle, how we can make it absolutely secure. And the security is not only the connectedness, and also it's sometimes there are various kind of attacks like side channel attacks, that would be there. So if we look at the vehicle as a whole, security is a topic today. As a vehicle platform, it needs to be taken care. If we talk about the connectedness part, that means connectivity and the infrastructures, this problem is solved by IT world long back. So you have got the PKI infrastructures and all. We need to really take care of that, and we have got a solution in place. But even that case today, zero-day attack is increasing. When you talk about zero-day attack, that means you don't have any clue that how attackers can really do it, because you don't have a footprint how attackers will attack the product or vehicle. So in that case, you need to really fall back on what is the incidents management. That means one is to really monitor that what are the threat surfaces, vulnerability of the product, whatever you could do before even deploy it. Another aspect is that if you have got a zero-day attack, that what are the incidents management you will be putting in place. So for us as an engineering service provider, when we're designing a product for our customers, we have to take care of both aspects. So one is the product aspects, how we can make secure from two dimensions. Also, how we can build an infrastructure which is scalable to take care of all those threats. That's what we are viewing it, that these are the challenges. And some of the solutions are also in place. And every day, new solutions, new threat surfaces are coming. It is a quite dynamic field for today.
Thomas, everybody is getting intelligent. Systems are getting even more intelligent than humans. So I'm sure you also must be thinking, oh, how do we do this?
I'm a little careful, Pratibha, with the terms intelligent and smart, because we've been hearing those words for many, many years, and each time we hear them, we find out that it's actually the products are not so smart and not so intelligent as we iterate this. Matter of fact is every digital product today is connected. Whether you have a small or a big pipe for IP packages doesn't really matter. And from a threat vector perspective, in a typical passenger car, we've spoken about this for years, we're dealing with a huge amount of code complexity, 100 million lines of code, potentially more. Today, that's, order of a magnitude 10x to platforms like Facebook, or that's 5 times more than a, Dreamliner as an airplane. It is a very complex set of code. And we have to assume by default that these products will be breached at some point. The question is only how will it be mitigated, and what can we do about it? And from a threat vector perspective, there's of course the safety angle, which could potentially harm lives. That's the one aspect. But I think another very attractive aspect is simply fraud and theft that comes with it. So that's another angle. We've seen a lot of theft that happens by physically breaching cars, accessing physical buses, overriding start systems and safety systems, and basically just committing fraudulent actions without having to remotely control a vehicle. I think the industry got shaken up about 10 years ago. We all know a hacker demonstration of a hacked SUV at the time, was putting the world in motion, and it will need those moments. Today in a vehicle like a Cybertruck, for example, everything is electrically actuated. Steering is completely electrical. Braking is electrical. So the core actuations of a vehicle are already exposed. So that's the magnitude of the challenges that we're looking at.
Coming back to Giuseppe, can you share with us how Drivesec aims to address this for the automotive world or the ecosystem itself?
Okay, so let me start saying that Drivesec has been established in 2017 as a product cybersecurity company.
Mm-hmm.
So we are very much focused on embedded systems or cyber physical systems, everything that is an ECU or is a system capable to execute some task and need to be protected.
Mm-hmm.
So we started designing a solution, software solution to protect the systems and to make sure that security is considered by design into the design of the product.
Mm-hmm.
And then we evolved into the design of a platform that supports testing of the security requirements and capabilities. So our job today is to design solution and software that can support OEM and Tier 1 to deliver products that are tested and resilient to cybersecurity attacks. Mm-hmm. And also something that can support the search of 0 days vulnerability that was mentioned by Dr. Swarup before, mm-hmm. that are the most tricky part of the study. Today, the problem is that of testing cybersecurity or assess cybersecurity posture of a device is addressed to a penetration test at the end of the development. It's a very traditional way inherited from ICT technologies. But looking at the constant evolution of the SDV vehicle, the continuous development of new software, continuous delivery of new feature, mm-hmm. requires a complete different way to execute this test. And so we are designing a platform that brings automation into this process, something that can be mm-hmm. integrated into the CI/CD process of the OEM and allows the test of cybersecurity requirements, posture, and search for vulnerabilities mm-hmm. during the test phase. During all the phases goes from unit test, integration test, and system test. And for each of these stages, we have prepared tests that can be used by OEM and Tier 1 in order to test the robustness of what they are delivering. And so that's our role today.
That means integrating it into Wipro's or solutions that you're building to be more effective for our customers.
One of the area which we are focusing on as a part of the solutions to our customers is validation. We call it Validation Factory powered by Test Genie. And this is all about making all types of validations. If you can think of that, on software is developed, then functional validations, and then non-functional validations. And one of the non-functional validation is also cybersecurity related topic. We have got our test platforms, which is powered by Wipro, that is Wipro Agentic AI platforms. And Drivesec brings all the aspect which we talk about cybersecurity. Zero-day vulnerability is one of the area which people are spending a lot of money because you don't have any means to really check unless you have got the preventive measure in development. And that's nothing but you have to always look for the vulnerability surfaces which you use, the component of the software. Typically, it's open source if you use it. In everyday open source brings a lot of new vector in terms of vulnerability and threat. Drivesec brings that vulnerability management. And once we get into the production, that means once we develop it, then it has to be tested, as Mr. Faranda talked about, that your penetration testing. This is one of the area where you can continuously attack your system and see that what are the threat vectors which can be active. So these are the two ways we could think of that how we can build in these two tools or hyper automations which they're building as part of it. Lastly, I want to tell that this test factory or whatever the testing mechanism is a continuous process. It has to be well blended with the CI/CD pipeline. That means, in a way, if it perfectly matches, then we call it that we have got an environment which is SOP less SOP in the OEM terms. So we call startup production less startup production. So every time, whatever the mature software in the CI/CD will be there, it is deployable software. The version is deployable. So you don't have to really do the 3 months, 4 months of effort to really make sure that everything is tested. So objective of Drivesec and objective of Wipro is completely aligned and complementary. So we are not building any security tools, or we are not building any platform which is constantly watch out that what are the vulnerability surfaces are every day with respect to your product is appearing. So they bring in that particular platforms and we are getting that integrated with our test factory. And it will give a complete solutions, as I mentioned, that environment which will give SOP-less SOP for the any devices.
For end-to-end testing.
And continuous.
Thomas, I think they were mostly speaking of the automotive world. And you work on a lot of other topics related to physical AI, embodied AI. That is also connected outside of considering hard to be also such a system. What are the use cases you see where such solutions like Drivesec helps Wipro make their systems more stable and secure and give our customers the best solutions that they need?
Deterministic rule-based automation systems that have been used in the industry for a very long time. Robotic systems in manufacture are controlled by rule-based systems that are prescribing those rules. We're moving into the world where automated and autonomous systems are controlled by language models, vision action language models. So basically the inferred actions are coming out of those models, which creates a whole new set of factors that need to be considered from a cybersecurity perspective. So when physical AI endpoints that could drive like a car, be mobile robots that are legged, humanoid robots that have wheels, that fly, drones, for example, all these products basically are a combination of a embedded control system that senses and actuates the vehicle, and in between will be a more or less complex AI system that infers and gets continuously updated from trained models as the system contributes and learns. So this creates we call it a data flywheel. And the data flywheel is a complex set of cloud services that are basically connecting a fleet of growing products with a back end of training in a continuous manner. And all these basically open up to cybersecurity vulnerabilities along this chain. As Swarup said, we're using numerous open source products that have contributions on a continuous basis. So our investment into open source supply chain vulnerability, is certainly helping us. And Drivesec, to me, is visually having a sandbox and endpoint in every physical AI and every embodied AI endpoint where we can continuously validate and monitor security vulnerabilities as the fleet grows. So that's, for me, really the benefit, that we have like a real sensor there that can give us valuable telemetry information, valuable verification, validation in a live environment on a continuous basis. So for me, it's part of an inherent software-defined embodied AI architect.
Thank you so much. Unless anybody has any closing comments, from any of you, what you're looking forward to?
We are very excited to say sharing the development of what we are doing with Wipro, and we are very honored to be here today with you. What is very important to us is that we share the same vision on the power of generative AI to support testing and to help the customer to continuously test their systems, because the aim of our platform is also to be used not just before the start of production, but continuously, because the search of vulnerabilities and the fight against attackers who can find zero-day vulnerabilities is a continuous job. Yes. Cybersecurity is a moving target. It's not something that stops. So sharing the same vision and sharing the same value when we talk about customer is important things to us, and so we are very happy to be working with you.
For me, actually, we are really trying to build a journey for SDV for our customers, and SDV is all about connected space. So all the functions which we update has to be delivered through over the air. So a very nucleus or very central piece of all this infrastructure is connectedness. Mm-hmm. And as we speak, that we are trying to solve the problem of SDV journey uniformly, and many times we always speak about that SDV is a complex problem with a multi-dimensions. Security is one of the dimension, and no single company can solve it. So with this philosophy, we have got the ecosystem of partners. We are choosing partners actually which will help us to really progress or accelerate the journey for our customers. And of course, it has to be aligned, and we are choosing the partners whose reasons are aligned. And Drivesec is one of them. And then we are hoping to add value and then accelerate the journey for our customers.
Pratibha, I want to make it very simple. In relationships, in business and personal, trust is the utmost important component. And if it's broken, it can hardly be restored. So if the trust between a customer and Wipro would be broken, it is hardly to be restored. If a trust between a consumer and its product is broken, because the product is either malfunctioning or, has breaches, it can hardly be restored. So we have today's situation, and I can speak from my personal life, when, owning a modern software-defined vehicle these days, electric vehicle, and seeing what I can do within my app, that I can actuate almost all functions. My wife keeps asking me, how can you be so sure that our vehicle cannot be hacked while I'm driving it? And honestly, when I assure her it's very unlikely, she does not believe me, because there is uncertainty that, in a world where you are vulnerable, ultimately, when you're driving on a freeway with 80 miles an hour, you are vulnerable, and you don't want that to happen. So it's utmost important that we collectively work together to maintain the trust into the product so that our customers can successfully sell those products.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure talking and getting your perspectives on it. As a tech person working in Wipro, it excites me. And as a driver, makes me feel comfortable, like you said, that somebody is having a shared purpose, vision to address and solve these problems today. And we hope, along with our customers, we are able to bring and live in a much safer and secure world. Thank you so much.
Thank you.